Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Brought to you today by Unibet. The link is in the description for my article on Nicolas Pepe and also numerous articles on transfers, on football. As you know, this weekend is when the Premier League season kicks off, starting on Friday. You want to get all details on that and find out what's happening, make sure you click on that Unibet link. Some excellent articles there, as I said, including mine. Just literally got back from Barcelona. It's been a grueling, should I say, pre-season for me anyway, right? There's been a lot of games, a lot of trips, and it concluded with the game last night where Arsenal played Barcelona, lost the game in the end. I thought for a lot of the game, Arsenal played really well. I was chatting to a couple of Barcelona fans who were quite impressed with Arsenal. However, ultimately losing the game and yet again to two defensive errors. The first one, the most ridiculous own goal you'll ever seen. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, complete mess up with Leno. Passing it in the ball into his own net when under no pressure really. And the second one, defensive errors again, this time by Mustafi, also Chambers, completely losing Suarez with just a ball over the top. We've seen that before a lot. And Barcelona winning the game by 2-1. We had a lot of chances actually in the game where we could possibly have, scored more goals. Martinelli missing a chance. Couple other chances missed, and there was a great goal, great finish in the game by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who's been on fire in pre-season. He's going to be really looking forward to the new season. He really is looking on top of his game at the moment, so that's a really good thing to look forward to. But it's the same old defensive problems. Speaking to fans after the game in Barcelona, everybody was saying the same thing. We're excited about the attack. Excited to see Nicolas Pepe, who by the way didn't play, but excited to see these guys. However, very, very worried about the defence. No changes really from what we saw last year, which is basically Arsenal are too easy to score against. And what are we going to do about that defence? We saw today that Manchester United have signed Harry Maguire, sort of player would be perfect really for Arsenal, for £80 million. That's quite significant because it's made him the most expensive defender in the world, most expensive centre-back, even more expensive than Van Dijk. But what that's done as well means that Arsenal, in any of their moves for any centre-backs from now till the end of the transfer window, which closes on Thursday at 5 o'clock, the club that they go to, the price is going to be up there. It's going to go higher because they're going to say, look, Harry Maguire went for 80 million. We think our player is at least, half as good. So we want 40 million or 50 million or 60 million. So that's just made it harder for Arsenal to get a centre-back in. And who is that centre-back going to be? Because again, yesterday, we are desperately in need of sorting out our defence. It's not just centre-back. It's left-back. I feel it's right-back as well. There's problems at right-back. And we know centre-backs, possibly two. Before I get into the players that we're still trying to get in the centre-back positions, let's just have a look at some of the players that surely they're going to be, they need to be moved out by the end of this transfer window. Koscielny, he still hasn't played a game in pre-season, refusing to play for Arsenal. Absolute disgraceful as far as I'm concerned. Arsenal said to be in talks with Rennes and Bordeaux about a move for him. They hope to get him out of the door by deadline day. As I said, Arsenal actively trying to get a fee, said to be around about £10 million in for Koscielny, but they are so keen to get him out of the door. They're also very keen to get Squadran Mustafi out of the door. There doesn't seem to be many offers. There were talks that Monaco were interested in Mustafi, but there has to be a solution to this Mustafi problem. The fans have turned on Mustafi. I saw it again last night. He wasn't getting booed or anything, but immediately, you saw it. Everybody was blaming him for the goal. He was at fault. He wasn't the only one at fault, but he was at fault for that goal. And once the fans really turn on you as a player, it's really difficult to come back from that. And especially when you're a defender, because, you know, mistakes are highlighted. When you're playing up front and you make mistakes, you know, you can score a goal in the game and miss a couple, but you still scored a goal, so you get forgiven. But when you're a defender, it's really, really difficult. And the fans have really turned on Mustafi. And I think it'd be better for all parties if he was moved out. And surely Arsenal will be trying to move him out by time we get to the deadline day on Thursday. But remember, as I said, Koscielny's going. Can we afford to lose Mustafi as well? It will leave us well short in the centre-back area if we're not able to get somebody in to replace him. And then there's Callum Chambers. Again, some good bits yesterday in defence, but then other times looking shaky. He had a good season last year, but that was playing a defensive midfielder for Fulham. Now he could be forced to play centre-back. Is he the answer? Could he be possibly a player that could grow into that position, maybe alongside, Socrates? I don't know. What are Arsenal going to do with him? I think it looks like they're going to have to end up keeping him. I don't think that, at the start of the window, they thought Koscielny was going to do what he's done. Now that he's done that and they could lose Koscielny and Mustafi, surely they've got to keep Callum Chambers. But we'll find out what happens with him. And then there's Carl Jenkinson. We've got big problems at right back and he can't even get a game. That tells you how far down the pecking order he is. Significantly didn't play yesterday, I think. Probably because Arsenal don't want him to get injured because they want to move him out the door as well. They're said to be Crystal Palace be the team that are really interested in signing him. But I'm sure they're going to be wanting to move him out the door. And what about Kostas Mavropanos as well? Mavropanos, since he's come to Arsenal, what has he done? I mean, he's been there. He's been very unfortunate because he's had a lot of injuries. I've had glimpses of him when he's been fit, but he's always injured. And I don't know, it could be, again, another player that could go out on loan. He could go out on loan before the window. He's not figuring, he's not playing. And maybe Arsenal might look on it and say, time to send this guy out on loan. Or maybe even sell him as well, because it's just not worked out for Mavropanos since he's been at Arsenal. And just slightly off of the defensive targets, the defensive players at the moment, El Neni as well. He's not figured in any of the pre-season games. I know he's at the African Cup of Nations, and Iwobi hasn't figured as well. He was also at the African Cup of Nations. But what's going to happen with Mohamed El Neni as well? Are we going to keep or are we going to get rid of him as well before the end of this transfer window? So there's only 4 days to go, and we're going to find out what's going to happen to all those players. But the defence, that is where the problem lies. And Unai Emery recognising that, saying that they're trying to get a player in, but they want somebody who's going to be better quality than what they've got. And as I said, with the Harry Maguire thing, that makes all targets even more expensive to get done. It's going to be a knock-on effect. Arsenal are said to be still interested in trying to sign Daniel Regani. They got knocked back by Juventus. Juventus said he's not for sale. It looks like Juventus are keen to keep him at the club because there's said to be injury at the moment to Chiellini that they're a bit worried about. They've got Bonucci, of course, De Ligt. But looks like they want to keep 4 centre-backs. But Arsenal are still talking to Juventus, set to meet them again, their representatives, again before deadline day. So this is a possibility that it could get done. The other one that we seem to be getting linked to quite heavily over the past couple of days is Gary Cahill of Chelsea. He is available on a free transfer. Not what everybody would want to see, I know, but I think also the rumour is that possibly they're looking on it as a bit of a stopgap. Remember, they have bought Saliba, but Saliba's not going to come in until next year. If they lose Koscielny, maybe also looking at like this guy could come in as an experienced guy. He can, if it's Socrates and Chambers and it's not quite working out, or if there's an injury to Socrates, Cahill could come in. That could be a possibility. It will be easy to get done. He's available on a free. They may not even have to get that one done by deadline day because remember, he's on a free transfer, so they could possibly bring him in after that. But certainly wouldn't be something that would excite fans. But it would just be a body that Arsenal could get in there in a centre-back area. And he is an experienced player, but then everybody's going to say it. If he's that good, why are Chelsea not keeping him on for even an extra year as well when they've got a transfer ban? But Cahill could be a player that maybe Arsenal might look at before deadline day. There's Kieran Tierney, of course. That's the one that's been rumbling on the whole transfer window. Arsenal said to be actively working to try and get it done before the window closes on Thursday. I spoke yesterday about the injuries that could possibly scupper the deal. The fact that Tierney could still be out for up to 8 weeks with this hernia. But from what I'm being told, Arsenal's still working to try and get that one done, but no guarantees on that one now. We're going to have to wait and see how that then develops out before the end of the transfer window. And finally, the Phillip Coutinho one, which everybody was talking about over the weekend. I spoke about this yesterday and the day before, saying that I thought it was highly unlikely. More or less confirmed yesterday by Unai Emery, where he said, listen, Coutinho's a great player, but he's not a player that we're looking at. And we don't need another player in that area. We need the defence sorted out. That is what we need to do. And let's hope over the next couple of days. I mean, I think what would be great is if we could make a big signing in that defence, you know, similar to sort of like what we've done with Pepe, just to reassure the fans. Because at the moment, fans, as I said, are very happy about going forward, but very worried about our defence because it's the same old problems. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to try and see if I can get back in the studio tomorrow. I haven't been in the studio for ages because we've just been on the road all the time. But thanks for watching the show today. We will be back tomorrow. And remember, there's only a few days to go until the transfer window shuts. Will Arsenal get a defender in?